theme of this verse is sampatti. Sam means inner, patti means wealth. In other words, why are you who you are? You tend to say that in an angry way, correct? Why are you that way? So the reason for that is sampatti. In verses 1 through 3, Shri Krishna is describing the deva sampatti, where one's inner wealth is like light or is based on values. In verses 1 through 3, Shri Krishna shares 26 values. And so we are flowing to verse 3, the end of these 26 values. Teja kshama dhriti shaucham adroho nati manita bhavanti sampadam devim abhijatasya bharata. Joy. As I mentioned, there's 26 values. In verse 1, the first value that is stated is abhaya. Abhaya in English, for us, as in what can we practice, is courage. To have the courage to evolve. Many don't have the courage to evolve because they're holding on too tightly to that which is normal, that which is comfortable. If you want to become the Prince Arjuna that is at the feet of Shri Krishna, this requires courage. Now, the 26th value is stated in this first line. For the sake of definitions, Teja means vigor, Kshama means forgiveness, Dhriti means fortitude, Shaucha means purity, Adroha means absence of hatred. We've gone through all of this. This is our fourth time. Vivekji, you're moving too fast. How much more do we have to do per verse? And find na ati manita. Ati means very. Na means not very. Manita, thinking about oneself. To not be self-centered. We have defined this as being thoughtful. First value is courage. The last value is thoughtful. Thoughtful that you can't live your life for this person, as in yourself. In fact, you can't live your life for any person. Higher than person is purpose. Higher than purpose is presence. That's a sign of a thoughtful person. Now in the second line, bhavanti sampadam devim, these are the descriptions of one whose inner wealth is light, is values. Abhijatasya bharata, they are who they are. They're born with these values, and so their lives are related to this. And he calls Prince Arjuna Bharata. And there's a reason for this. He is affirming to Prince Arjuna, if you follow these 26 values, you will become Anagha, which means you will also feel Bharata. He's taking the end of chapter 15, infusing this into chapter 16. Bhagavad Gita's chapter 16 is an appendix. This appendix is on what is valuable to you. For those to whom their equipments are valuable, They relate to verses 1 through 3. The Sura Sampati. Sura means those who are filled with light. Why I'm sharing equipments? Because what's valuable to them is who they are. In contrast, those to whom what is valuable is not their equipments, but rather their experiences, not who they are, but rather what they have, they relate to verse 4. This is the Asura Sampatti, or the Asuri Sampatti. Asura means the one who lacks light. That sentiment will come out strongly in the verse we will study this morning. In Bhagavad Gita's chapter 12, chapter 13, now chapter 16, there are comprehensive value systems that are being shared. They are systems. They're being shared in a systematic way so that this becomes systemic for us. That which is systemic becomes part of us. We tend to think of systemic in a negative way, like systemic genderism, systemic racism. Systemic means coming from a system, it can swing both ways. Negative, obviously, and positive. These value systems are to create for us an environment of nitya shuddha, to always be thinking, speaking, acting for purity. If you engage in nitya shuddha, what gets pulled with that? Nitya buddha. The purity leads to clarity. What does nitya buddha pull? Nitya mukta. One becomes free. One is divinity. Shri Krishna has shared with Prince Arjuna, Abhijatasya, we are born with this notion of what is valuable to either be what I have or who I am. We are born with this trajectory, but this can change. If we couldn't change what is valuable to us, Shri Krishna would not invest in such value systems. The implication of all of this is to change what's valuable to you. And then he finishes with, Abhijata, you, Prince Arjuna, are born with the Sura Sampati. You are born with the notion of what is valuable being who you are, not what you have. So, ma shuchaha. Don't worry. Be hopeful. You do have access to Nitya Shuddha. You were born like this. You're continuing to invest in this. That means what's coming next is Nitya Buddha, then Nitya Mukta. So the next time I ask you, will you be Mukta in this lifetime? Please remember, Ma Shuchaha. Don't worry, be happy.